Today I'm going to be highlighting 10 really underrated players from last season that really didn't get much love but had really great seasons. The first player is someone who's flown under the radar all season, and it's Joey Porter Jr. I don't think many people understand how good he has been this season. Through 14 games and 894 snaps, he only gave up 299 yards and not a single touchdown, not only this season but also in his whole career, and has the longest streak in the NFL of not giving up a touchdown. He also had the third lowest passer rating in the league against, and it's honestly absurd how he wasn't a Pro Bowler and should have even been an All-Pro. And there could be a legit argument he was the best corner in the league this year, and he was graded as the highest corner in the league by Pro Football Network. And later in the video, we'll get to another Steelers corner who is actually graded second. The next player is Alec Pierce, who barely eclipsed the 1,000-yard mark last season with 1,003 yards on only 47 catches, averaging a league-leading 21.3 yards per catch and 20 yards of depth per target, being one of the best deep threats in the NFL. He's a free agent this year, and he's going to get a bag and get paid way more than people will expect, and honestly might be the best receiver out there on the market this offseason. One of the most underrated corners in the league is DJ Turner, who was the best player on a historically bad Bengals defense this year. He was second in pass breakups with 13, had 2 forced fumbles and 2 interceptions, and only allowed 29 catches while playing all 17 games, even though he let up 14.4 yards per catch, and he allowed a 77.3 passer rating against with a below 50% completion percentage. Parker Washington has gone from mainly just a return man for the Jaguars to being a starting receiver, especially with the Travis Hunter injury. And on the year, he had 58 catches for 847 yards and 5 touchdowns, along with 2 special teams touchdowns, and actually led the Jaguars in receiving yards. And he's flown under the radar because of how much talent they have in that receiving core, with guys like Travis Hunter, Brian Thomas, and Jacoby Myers, that no one really talks about Parker Washington, and he also had a great playoff performance against the Bills. Devin Bush was very quietly one of the best linebackers in the league last year, and seems to be reviving his career in Cleveland. He was one of the best coverage linebackers, being third in passer rating against among linebackers, and had 3 picks, with 2 being returned for touchdowns, along with 2 forced fumbles and 2 sacks, and 125 total tackles with 7 tackles for loss, and was good at stopping the run, and a big reason why the Browns' defense was so good. And he's one of the best free agent linebackers on the market, and I would assume Cleveland tries to bring him back. Wandale Robinson is another guy that had a very quiet 1,000-yard season, and was 9th in catches with 92. Last year he had 93 but only 700 yards, so he increased his yards per catch to 11 yards per catch, and is also a free agent this upcoming offseason and will get a good amount of money. Known air fryer owner James Pierre was a career backup for the Steelers who would only play due to injury and on special teams, but he got his shot this year and has had an amazing year, being graded as the second best corner in the league by PFF and Pro Football Network. He allowed the second lowest passer rating among 114 corners, and only allowed about 140 yards and no touchdowns through 14 games and 377 snaps, and also had 9 pass breakups, and it'll be interesting to see where his career goes from here. Another under-the-radar wide receiver is Michael Wilson, who didn't even have 20 yards in a game until Week 16, but really shut up the second half of the season, finishing the year with 78 catches for 1,006 yards and 7 touchdowns, and might have even taken over the wide receiver 1 role from Marvin Harrison. Second-year defensive tackle Jaylen Redmond had a great year with 62 tackles, 6 sacks, 12 tackles for loss, 1 forced fumble, and 5 pass deflections, and was one of the best interior D linemen in the league last year in a really good Vikings defense that doesn't really have a ton of huge names. The Jaguars had a very improved defense under Liam Cohen, and safety Antonio Johnson has been one of the unsung heroes in the secondary. He had 2 sacks, along with 7 pressures, 5 picks, and only 3 missed tackles, which was third among qualifying safeties. He was also very good in coverage, only allowing a little less than 200 yards and 1 touchdown, and had a passer rating against of 55.5 and was graded as the number one safety by PFF.